It is hockey night in Fitchburg here on FATV from the George J. Wallace Jr. Civic Center in Fitchburg, Massachusetts. I'm John Gugerty, joined as always by Dan Bolak. And Dan, today is a very special game here. It is the Glenn Roberts Memorial Hockey Game here at the Wallace Civic Center. All proceeds from this game will benefit the ALS Association Massachusetts chapter, as well as the Glenn Roberts Memorial Scholarship at Fitchburg High School. Always a great time, always, a somber time, obviously, but a very important cause. Again, the Glenn Roberts Memorial Hockey Game here on FATV.
Indeed, the Falcons do a charity game every year, and this is the second straight year that they've done this to benefit the ALS Association, the Glenn Roberts Memorial Scholarship. Always a good cause to remember a great man.
And as you can see on the screen there is, after all, the matter of a hockey game to be played as well. Today, the Fitchburg State Falcons will be taking on the Lancers of Worcester State University. Second time we've seen Fitchburg State hockey here on FAT this season. Obviously, Dan, you and Tim Foley called the game a couple of weeks ago. Let's talk a little bit about the teams in this one, starting with Fitchburg State. They come in with a record 9-6-2 and 6-2-2 in the MASCAC.
It was 9-7-2, 6-3-2. We forgot about the loss on Thursday.
You're the one who made the score sheet.
You're reading off of reading off someone else's old copy, actually.
Fine.
But
they lost on Thursday.
They did lose on Thursday.
But they've still won more than they've lost.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, so 9-7-2 overall, 6-3-2 in the MASCAC. They fell 4-3 to UMass Dartmouth on Thursday in a game that was a rough showing for the Falcons. Up 3-1 halfway through. They gave up 3 unanswered, fell down in New Bedford. They're looking to bounce back against a Worcester State team that has not beaten a Division III opponent since November.
Worcester State coming in with an overall record 5-11-2. They're 3-7-1 in the MASCAC. See, I read that one from the correct score sheet.
Glenn was a graduate of North Middlesex Regional High School in
Indeed.
1982.
We're going to go to the public address here for our pregame ceremonies here.
Fitchburg State University in 1992. Glenn was a valued member of the Mount Wachusett Community College staff for more than 20 years, where he was able to help countless students achieve their educational, professional, and personal goals. We lost Glenn on August 12, 2013, after a courageous fight against ALS. ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, is a progressive disease that impacts nerve cells in the brain and spinal cord. Through raising awareness, funding important research, and supporting our neighbors suffering with ALS, we are committed to making a difference and finding a cure. And now, please direct your attention to center ice for the ceremonial puck drop. Representing the Lancers, number 15, Nick Petullo, and representing the Falcons, number 25, Dean Zerby. Thank you, Deb. Now let's meet today's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Lancers. On defense, a junior from Melrose, Massachusetts, number 4, Jake Corellis. Also on defense, a senior from Southlake, Texas, number 23, Colin Witt. At forward, a senior from Doylestown, Pennsylvania, number 15, Nick Petullo. A junior from Helena, Montana, number 16, Kyle Hayter. And a junior from Katy, Texas, number 17, Ryan James. In goal this afternoon for the Lancers, a freshman from Dunstable, Massachusetts, number 20, Nevin Tardif. The head coach for Worcester State is Shane Toporowski, associate head coach John Coughlin Jr., and the assistant coaches are Jim Harity and Ryan Palmer. And now the starting lineup for your Fitchburg State Falcons. On defense, a senior from Bradley, New Jersey, number 4, Joshua Saboyu. A freshman from Hubley, Nova Scotia, number 6, Joff Lamore. At forward, a freshman from Messina, New York, number 16, Wyatt Wilmshurst. A freshman from Enfield, Connecticut, number 21, Jean Bouthiette. And a senior from Cranston, Rhode Island, number 20, Chris Vicario. Between the pipes this evening is a junior from Worcester, Massachusetts, number 29, Brian McGrath. The head coach for Fitchburg State in his 36th season is Dean Fuller, assisted by Vincent Giambracco, Tom Patty, Mike Rastusha, and Chris Kine. Ready? Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please stand for the singing of our national anthem? This afternoon's anthem will be sung by Fitchburg State University nursing major and freshman from Douglas, Massachusetts, Aubrey Harris. Thank you, Aubrey Harris.
Hockey Night in Fitchburg here on
Fans,
FATV. John Gugerty, joined as always by Dan Bolak, getting ready to take on the Lancers of Worcester State University are the Fitchburg Falcons. And once again, this is the Glenn Roberts Memorial Hockey Game. We see there the Falcons coming out in the red and white Glenn's Friends jerseys. Always a good cause. Again, this game proceeds benefiting the ALS Association Massachusetts chapter, as well as the Glenn Roberts Memorial Scholarship at Fitchburg High School. So folks, if you are within the sound of my voice and you are in or around Fitchburg, Massachusetts, we absolutely encourage you, come on down to the Wallace Civic Center on John Fitch Highway. But if you're at home, maybe just bundled up under a blanket, or someone out there in the world who would like to watch this game, you can just go to fatv.org, look for the education stream, and live streaming will be available.
Yep, and a special hello to all our friends watching today on the Falcon Sports Network as well.
And our friends in Worcester, and our friends in Orange, and really our friends everywhere.
Yep. Wherever you may be watching, anywhere in the world, we thank you for tuning in
today. I thought
today.
you were going to thank all the ships at sea, and I was like, could a ship at sea? Well, I guess if the internet is good.
Some of that satellite action there. Again, you can see the Falcons bench here.
Falcons will be playing in the red and white jerseys, Lancers in the blue and gold.
And you see Dean Fuller, 36th season as the head coach of Fitchburg State. 556 career victories, top 20 all-time among all college hockey coaches.
We are just about ready for puck drop here at the Wallace Civic Center, just getting a couple more dignitaries off the ice. And they close the door over there, and here with the play-by-play for the first period is one Daniel Bolak.
Thank you very much, John. Falcons starting their second line, Wyatt Wilmshurst, Gene Bouthiet, Chris Vicario. The Lancers starting their third line of Kyle Hayter, Nick Patullo, and Ryan James. And we are underway as that shot right in on Nevin Tardif, the netminder for Worcester State. New to this team, just joined in the last month for Worcester State. A shot, and that one kicked away by Tardif as well. As this goes, go ahead, John.
Tardif looking for his first win of the season, comes in with a record 0-3-1 between the pipes for Worcester State.
Tardif was 8 seconds away from getting his first collegiate victory a couple days ago, but a late goal by Salem State resulted in a 4-4 tie. And so Nevin Tardif The freshman from Dunstable still looking for his first collegiate victory. A shot through traffic, saved by Tardif. Rebound goes to his right. And now around the boards, kept in by Saboyu. In the right wing corner, knocked off the puck were the Falcons. On the near side, pass up for Ryan James. And this is dumped all the way down, and it's going to be icing. Whistle blows as Saboyu and Lamore make it to the hash marks. 59 seconds gone in this contest.
59 seconds gone, and about 57 of them took place in the Worcester State end. The Falcons won the opening faceoff and just have controlled the puck every step of the way.
Draw will go to the left of Tardif. Won by the Falcons, Brian Glover, a late entry into the lineup. He's been battling injuries, but he's fit enough to get some ice time today. Falcons will be happy to see him. The defense has been struggling a little bit in the last few contests without him. Patrick Sullivan backhands it around the boards, taken by Corrales, and now pushed forward. Lancers still have their starting lines out there after the icing, couldn't change. James picks it up in the left wing corner. Trying to dig it out as Fitchburg. They'll do just that and bring it up ice. Sullivan on the left side gains the blue line, delayed offsides. He shot it in just before the blue line, so they didn't blow the play dead. Now as the Lancers throw it out, Ryan Murphy collects it at the red line and dumps it right back in. Lancers will hold behind their own net and will now try to skate it out up at the near side. This is Nick Panucci. Panucci gains the red line and no farther. Dean Zerby will take it from there and backhand it into the Lancer zone. On the far side, Worcester State taking it back, and Panucci gaining the red line, now blue, drops off for no one in particular. They just got discombobulated on the line change. There's Mitchell Wally, the tallest player in D3 hockey, taking it along for the Falcons. 6 feet 8 inches tall. In the right side corner, a shot put towards goal. Tardif makes the stop. Lancers try to bring it up from Will Ahern, but again he loses a handle on it. Peter Staife on the near side dumps it in around the boards. Staife, a freshman from the Czech Republic, one of the more dangerous defensemen in the MASCAC this season. Lancers will take it from their own end. Corrales takes the first shot of the game for Worcester State, and that one sticked away by McGrath into the net and out of play. 17:04 to go in the first, no score.
While we have a second, we want to thank a few of our underwriters who help bring this and all remote broadcasts to you. FATV Remote Productions are underwritten by Workers Credit Union, Rollstone Bank and Trust, and UMass Memorial Health Alliance Clinton Hospital.
Draw will come to the right of McGrath. And the Falcons will win that draw, try to send it around the boards. Kevin Perry picks it up on the far side for Boomer Miller. From the red line, a dump in and around. And in pursuit is Trent Shanley. And getting there first, there's Colin Witt. Witt tying up there as centered through the paint, but nobody there for the Falcons. Get a one-timer on it.
Looked like he was trying to do a wraparound there, lost the handle a little bit. Or as you said, nobody there for the centering pass. That puck played with a high stick.
Indeed it was. Draw will come into the Falcons zone. McGrath's numbers this year, 9-4-2, 214 goals against, 939 save percentage, and 2 shutouts on the season. He leads the MASCAC in goals against and save percentage. Draw will come to McGrath's right, won by the Lancers. Shot from the left point by Max Roth was blocked out in front. Roth gets it back, backhands it into the zone, but nobody there for Worcester. Bouthiette on the near side for Vicario. Roth will send that back around the boards. Lamore on the right side. With a backhand on for Saboyu, D-to-D pass. That goes off a Lancer sticking down the ice, so no icing, as Tardif will settle it down to the left of his cage.
Tardif sent it to his left. He didn't have any teammates there.
And Worcester is a team that will happily go to the boards and battle for the puck against the boards as well. They're a grinded out team. As that one shot in from the red line off a Lancer in front. And Worcester will clear it out of the zone.
Puck got Henry Bruckner right on the left hip.
One of those many pucks that you'll take to the body during a game.
There are worse places to get hit with a puck, to be honest.
There are. James dumps it around. for Kyle Hayter. On the left side boards, trying to pass it back for James. Goes out of his reach. And now a penalty coming here. This will be a first penalty of the game as soon as somebody wants to touch it up. The problem was the puck was underneath the body there of Anton Medelev.
He had Kyle Hayter just kind of laying down on top of him, so that complicated matters.
So with the puck made unplayable, Falcons can't do anything with the extra attacker opportunity, but now they'll get their first power play of the contest with 15-16 to go in the first.
And it will be Kyle Hayter, the junior from Helena, Montana, going to the penalty box.
Sixth penalty of the season for the biotechnology major. Now the Falcons' power play this year has struggled, 8 for 63. That's just 12.7%, second worst in the MASCAC. Worcester's able to clear it out of the zone. Tim Drevich there, trying to make some plays shorthanded. Drevich still controls the puck now in the right wing corner. Dispossessed by Josh Miller. Hooking was the call. So again, the Falcons on their first power play of the contest. The Lancers this season, 76.6% on the kill. That's not terribly good either. Fifth in the conference. And tied for 70th out of 91 Division II and 3 teams.
So for another 75 seconds or so, it will be the resistible force and the movable object. The Fitchburg power play against the Worcester State penalty kill.
Falcons unable to keep it in the zone, pushed forward by Kevin Drevich. Falcons try to regain that pass cross ice, intercepted by Colin Witt.
Worcester State's down a man, they're also down a stick. The shards of Drevich's blade are across the ice.
They've gotten the player replaced though. And now back to 4 skaters with 6. Now 6 minutes gone in this contest, 43 on the power for Fitchburg. Still looking for their first shot on the power play. As the puck loose out in front. Trying to cover it up was Tardif, but the puck was away from him. Eventually, the official lost sight of it.
Dan, there's a very famous hockey clip, so famous that even I know it, where Bobby Orr scores a game-winning, I believe, Stanley Cup-winning goal, and then just leaps forward in absolute joy. Ryan Murphy simulated those motions for a very different reason, right across the Worcester State net. Thought we were about to get a tripping call, but none came.
So the faceoff will come outside of the Lancer zone with 30 seconds to go on this power play. That's Wilmshurst, gets tangled up, falls to the ice, sticked along and back by Nick Panucci. Henry Bruckner slams it down the ice. McGrath will come out to touch it along.
Falcons with maybe one more chance to make something out of this power play.
Egan Wolford with the pass out of the reach of Wilmshurst. And the whistle blows.
That'll send it all the way back down to the Falcon end. Worcester State looks to have dodged a bullet here. First power play of the game, just 7 seconds left on it. And Kyle Hayter will come out of the penalty box.
The Falcons got caught for icing there. The dump a little too early. Draw will come to the right of McGrath. And that one just won right up into the netting and out. And 2 precious seconds tick off the Falcon power play, as we'll have to do that again. Draw comes to the right of McGrath, won by the Falcons. Bring it up the far side off the stick of Zerbe. And now Hayter out of the penalty box. Back to full strength are the Worcester State Lancers, and icing called against the Lancers. Bit of an aggressive dump there.
We'll take another opportunity to thank a few of our underwriters. FATV would like to extend its thanks to North End Subaru, Resource Management, Unitil, and Minuteman Press, among the many companies who help underwrite this and every remote production on Fitchburg Access Television.
Draw will come to the left of Tardif. 3 saves in this contest for the freshman. As it comes out to Medelev, puts it wide of the goal. Picked up on the left side of the zone, but unable to be handled by Trent Shanley.
There were a couple of times there that Shanley was looking for the one-timer, just couldn't get the puck in the right spot.
Barry takes a shot as he's hit by Steven Totoni, and he can't get a clean one off.
He took a shot in a couple of different ways there.
Medelev with a shot, redirection, score! strike first.
Couldn't tell who it was who finally got his stick on it. There were a couple of different Falcons right in front of Tardif. Very little the freshman goaltender could do about that one. You're all geared up, ready to save. You know this, Dan. You're a goaltender yourself. You're ready to make the save on the shot from far out, and then it takes that last-second deflection. Nothing he could do there.
Last-second redirections are tough. In Tardif's case as well, he had trouble getting the 5-hole shut there. And he's going to feel like he probably wants that back even with the point-blank redirection. Just the fact that he should have had the 5-hole shut and wasn't able to do so. Kevin Perry gets the goal for the Falcons. On the shot from Anton Medalev. That one sticked out of play. That's first career point for Anton Medalev. If it hadn't been redirected, it could have possibly been his first career goal. He would have been the last Falcon to get his this season.
It's the 4th goal of the year for Perry. Brings him up to 8 points.
The Falcons get the first strike in this one. As Perry, the junior from Hull, gets the Falcons on the board. And here's Wyatt Wilmshurst with a shot that goes off the stick of a Lancer and Bruckner and out of play. 12:05 to go in the first, 1-0 Fitchburg.
We'd also like to thank Hub International, MART, Fitchburg State University, and the Sentinel and Enterprise. They are among the many underwriters who bring this broadcast to you here on FATV.
Draw will come to the right of Tardif, won by the Lancers and around the boards. Battling forward on the near side, Kevin Drevich getting tangled up there with the Falcons and Jordan Holmes. Puck eventually squirts all the way down to the Falcon end. Fitchburg will clear it out, but Corrales will knock it back around the boards behind Fitchburg's net. Egan Wolford go D to D. Back for Wolford behind his own net. Now he'll bring it up. On the near side, Jean Bouthiette with a touch on, and Jordan Holmes. Wilmshurst gets his stick on it to prevent the icing as it's dumped in. Falcons will change behind the play. Worcester's already got all their skaters out there ready to go. And rushing up the ice is Nick Patullo. Patullo trying to feed Kyle Hayter in the left side corner. Now Patullo gets it back into the right corner for James. Shot from the right point ends up going well wide of the cage. Peter Staife will go across. Sullivan whiffs on it a little bit. Doesn't whiff on the second one, but he puts it into his own bench. That'll draw a face-off with 10:59 to go in the first.
Folks, we also want to mention that this is not the only game you'll be able to see here on FATV. Coming up after this one, a 6 o'clock puck drop. We'll see the Fitchburg Monitech team taking on the North Middlesex Patriots. So that's high school action for the first time this year here on FATV. That's coming up later tonight, 6 o'clock, right here on FATV.
We were hoping to get the game between Fitchburg and Littleton 2 weeks ago, but unfortunately, really bad weather caused that game to be postponed. So the return of Fitchburg Monitech ice hockey to FATV had to wait a couple extra weeks.
Was it really bad? I was sitting on my couch. It rained a little bit.
Yeah, West Springfield got way different weather conditions than Fitchburg did.
I don't often get to gloat about my living situation, so when I do, I really rub it in.
You probably deserve to with the fortune that you had 2 weeks ago. Staife whiffs on a little bit. Now we push back around by Anthony Ciolin. Patted away by Tardif. Check in the left corner there.
Check is underselling it. Tony upended his man.
Indeed, but perfectly legal. We play on. Dumped in from the red line by Nicholas Terry. Into the left corner for Brendan Ronan. On the left side, it'll be dumped out by the Falcons and retrieved by Will Ahern. Now that is Ahern with the touch there at the center line. That's Brian Glover. Pinned into the boards. Ciolin trying to backhand it out of the zone, but disrupted by a Lancer stick. On the near side, kept in by Roth. Tried to turn it towards goal, nothing going there. And another turnaround shot ends up getting sent out of play. 9:39 to go in the first. Fitchburg 1, Worcester nothing.
Worcester State has done a better job since Fitchburg scored trying to put the pressure on the Falcons, but as you can see there, they haven't been able to get many shots on target, just the one shot on goal for them so far.
A slow start for this Lancer squad. They have not beaten a Division III opponent since the middle of November, and they were so close to getting that victory against Salem a couple of days ago. So that's turned towards McGrath. He'll easily glove it and hold.
Both of these teams, Dan, coming off of disappointment earlier this week. Fitchburg State suffering a loss, and Worcester State, as you mentioned a couple of times now, that heartbreaking draw against Salem.
They got a point out of it, but they surely wanted the two, and they were so close to getting it. Up the near side, here's Boomer Miller. Miller takes the shot, that's turned wide. And that's gonna ricochet all the way back down in the Falcons zone. Saboyu has to get on his horse to get to that one and beat Kyle Hayter to the puck. On the far side, Kevin Perry, he's got the goal for the Falcons. Gets it to the near side in Trent Shanley. Now long for Miller. Ducks out of a hit from Corrales. Around for Shanley. Knocked forward by Hayter. Kept in, though, by Joshua Miller. Tried to find Perry, goes through his legs. Corrales around. That intercepted by Jordan Holmes. Falcons try to poke it out in front, nothing going there, as it's stuck behind Nevin Tardif's net. Still stuck there. The official shrugging his
shoulders.
His shoulders saying, it, I can still see it. Play on. Goes out to the slot. Perry keeps it in. Now finally cleared out. James on the far side, lost his footing.
Great job on the defensive end by Colin Witt, sticking his stick in there right at that centering pass. Looked for a second like Kevin Perry was going to be wide open right in front of the net.
Lancers had to tag up, stay onside. They were able to do just that as the puck goes behind McGrath's net. In the right wing corner, team's just trying to dig it out. Now finally dug clean. And here's Vicario up the right side of 2-on-2. Takes the shot, punched away by Tardif. Brought up from center. That's dumped in and punched away by McGrath on the shot from Totoni. Ronan getting tangled up with Wolford behind the net. And the Lancers turn around. Shot saved by McGrath, trying to hold that post. As it's still out in front, still available. And now McGrath bowled over there by a Lancer. Puck still available. We still play on.
McGrath had no idea where the puck was. It was about 3 feet in front of him, right in the middle of his crease.
Eventually knocked out of play by Peter Staife there. With 7:17 to go in the first, a 1-0 lead for the Falcons. And that was helter-skelter for a moment for the Falcons. They're probably asking where our whistle was in any of that, and McGrath talking with one of the referees, wanting an explanation to why play was never called.
Typically when there are 2 hockey players in one hockey net, they kind of stop playing hockey for a little bit and sort it out.
But not that time. They played on. Hunter Forden tries to play it on for the Falcons as it comes around for Ahern. Ahern gains the zone into the right circle, gets a shot off, but it goes behind the Falcon net. Fought for on the left side. Tim Drevich there for the Lancers. Ahern as well for Worcester. 3 Falcons trying to pull it out. Eventually won by Lamore. Cross ice for Forden. Forden with 1 man to get around in Max Roth. Forden gets the corner, centers it. A lot of pace on that one, out of the reach of Sullivan. Shot from the left point, and that's turned aside by Nevin Tardif. Brought up on the right side by Worcester. It just floated into the corner. McGrath will try to play that along, but it's taken down by the Lancers and Dieter Staying. Now on the left side, Colin Witt. Around, wraparound chance by Witt. Doesn't go anywhere. Into the right side corner, Kevin Drevich. And Dieter Staying. Pairs of brothers for the Lancers. Corrales out to Witt on the left side. His shot ends up going wide to the left. Sullivan able to backhand it out of the zone. This is going to go all the way down, and it's going to be icing. As the Falcons were changing, they're going to have to bring those tired legs back out on the ice.
Jake Corrales reached out his hand trying to knock that puck down. It actually worked out better for him that he didn't get a touch on it. If he had, that probably wouldn't have been an icing call.
Instead, the puck will come down to the left side of McGrath. 5:58 to go in the first. Shot 6-5 in favor of Fitchburg State. 5 saves for both netminders in the early going.
Saw Dean Zerby and Josh Miller being rather evocative with their displeasure, being sent back to the bench. Them's the rules, boys.
You ice the puck, you can't change. That's how it works in college. That's not how it's going to work in the second game. But we play by NCAA rules in this one.
That makes sense.
NCAA rules for an NCAA game as Dean Zerby gains the zone. The top of the slot, left side, shot stopped by Tardif. Rebound sprung free to the right side, but no Falcons there to get it. As Holmes misses his pass, this will be icing as well.
I mentioned a few moments ago that Worcester State had really upped the intensity. They've continued to do that here as we approach the 5-minute mark in the first period. Fitchburg State does have the lead, but they've played most of the last 10 minutes, Dan, on the back foot.
And for Worcester, this is a team that will play 60 minutes of grinded out hockey. They're not afraid to get physical. That's been the strategy Shane Toporowski has instilled in his side as Mitch Elwally gains the zone. Elwally pushed into the boards. Basically need 2 Lancers to drive him into the boards, essentially. Anthony Ciolin gets dispossessed. Now Elwally at the point takes the shot, saved by Tardif, and he holds.
It's a really good save there by Nevin Tardif. That puck kind of knuckling in and hit him right square in the midsection, and then there was all kinds of chaos in front of him. If he had let that rebound go, very likely it would have wound up in the back of the net. But he did a good job just condensing himself, holding on to the puck, and drawing a faceoff.
Tardif, the freshman from Dunstable. That's only a few towns over to the east of here. Here's Ciolin, finds Elwally, takes a shot, saved by Tardif. Just getting it with the paddle. Wally's had a couple of good chances. He's back into the lineup after being scratched the last few contests.
Wally just took an extra second to cue up that shot. If he'd been able to release it a little quicker, he might have been able to catch Tardif napping.
It's redirected into the zone for Tim Drevich. Willie Hearn. Now Dieter Stang trying to race it down, but Wally gets there first. Saboyu punched in there by Dieter. Now backhanded out of the zone by Elwally. Try to flush it back in, but now Fitchburg's got a 2-on-2. Ciolin with a shot sticked away by Tardif. In the right wing corner, a Falcon and a Lancer both have the puck pinned against the boards. Referee saying move the puck. And now it's finally poked free. Corellis around to the far side and finally cleared out of the zone where Josh Miller will pick that one up. Miller got his first collegiate tally 2 weeks ago here on FATV against Salem State. Cross ice, it goes to Perry. Perry trying to feed a Falcon in the zone, but finds a Lancer instead, and it's spit back down into the Falcon zone. Fitchburg trying to hit these passes, having trouble there as James intercepts. Shot from Hayter's cut down in front. Around to the near side, where Hayter is in pursuit, but Miller gets there first. Boomer moves it along. Perry had it popped up in the air. Shanley knocked off the puck there. Staife for Worcester pounds it off the boards for James. Out to the red line where it's dumped back in by Jordan Holmes. Tardif signals for Staife to get back there and get a hold of that puck.
A lot of back and forth here. Neither team able to create really good chances.
Now 2:45 to go in the period. Fitchburg still has that 1-0 lead from Kevin Perry on the redirected shot from Anton Medelev. Dumped in by Brendan Ronan into the right wing corner. Puck bounces back out to center. Where it comes on for Max Roth. Roth dumps in with a bouncer. That ends up going wide of the cage. Behind the net on the near side. Cleared out to center. Roth dumps back in. Hops over the stick of Jordan Holmes. Holmes wore 27 last year, switched to 12 for this year. He was the only Falcon who changed numbers. It's Dumped down at the red line, and Nicholas Terry sends it back around the boards, back into the Fitchburg zone. Worcester will use the opportunity to change lines with under 2 to go in this first period. Stretch pass tried to hit Vicario, race to the hash marks is won by the Lancers just barely, and icing will be called with 1:53 to go in the first.
You mentioned, Dan, that Worcester State was able to get a line change off. Fitchburg State has gone a couple 3 minutes now with the same guys on the ice. Maybe some tired legs there for Fitchburg presents a very good opportunity for Worcester. Just under 2 minutes to go here in the first period.
They've got that top line out there, Tim Drebich, Matthew Manning, and Will Ahern. It's not going to help matters. Then a backhand shot stopped by McGrath. Another chance and another save by McGrath. Comes out to Drebich with a shot that goes just wide. Wiltshire just tries to clear it out, reaching out with the stick, couldn't do so. Shot from the right point is blocked, and the Falcons flip it out of the zone and temporarily out of danger.
And they do, in fact, get that line change.
Get most of those tired legs off of the ice. Roth's able to find Manning. He gains the zone up the left side. Matthew Manning dropping it back for a one-timer. Nick Panucci had the shot there, but it goes high over the net. Into the right wing corner. And again, like I've said, this is Worcester's game. They love battling in the trenches of the boards, wearing their opposition sides down. Fitchburg will take control of the puck, get it out of the zone. On the near side, Panucci pushes over to the far side, tried to slam it around the boards, lost the handle. Fitchburg gains the zone, stayed onside. Saboyu with the shot goes wide. That was Sullivan, actually. Medalev goes to ward off the Lancer instead. Fine play to protect the puck. Panucci can't get a hold of it. The two teams have been struggling to keep possession of the puck, especially as we go later into this period, as some dangerous play there by Tardif to challenge for the puck there, but the Falcons couldn't put it past him.
Tardif seriously overcommitted for the puck. Colin Witt wound up playing goaltender for a few perilous seconds. Fortunately for the Lancers, everything worked out.
Sullivan in the slot, takes the shot, goes just high. Falcons aren't going to be able to get another shot off as the buzzer sounds with the puck hopping over the stick of Joff Lamore, and that's the end of the first period of play. The Falcons with a 1-0 lead through 20 minutes of play on Kevin Perry's 4th of the season.
Really good period for both teams, Dan. Obviously, from Worcester State's perspective, you concede the goal, you're an underdog on the road, and now you're down. But still, I think you have to be happy with the play of your team overall if you're head coach Shane Toporowski.
I mean, the early play for Worcester, they were struggling to get shots and chances, but as the period went on, they were able to drive play a little more and really try to hold the Falcons back from getting that many good opportunities.
And of course, on the other side for Fitchburg State, you get the early goal by Kevin Perry. They kind of played defensively for the next 5 or 10 minutes, but really toward the end of that first period, I thought the Falcons did a very good job ratcheting back up the intensity, taking the fight to Worcester State. They had a couple of very good chances right there in those last 2 minutes.
They had some good chances. Tardif has looked a little shaky. He's been having trouble controlling his rebounds, and we saw him greatly overcommit in the last minute of the period there.
You would expect something like that from a freshman goaltender playing just his 5th game.
For a player who just joined this side a month ago, still fairly new to this Worcester State squad is Tardif. And he's going to be, but he's taken over the starting job for the time being, but he's going to be looking for a better second and third period.
Well, as the teams head to the locker rooms for the first intermission and the ice is seated for our favorite pastime, tiny child hockey, we will take the break as well and be back with you in just a few moments. Don't forget, it is Hockey Night in Fitchburg here on FATV, and it goes all night long. There is another game at 6 o'clock. Fitchburg Monty will be taking on North Middlesex. But of course, there's also the second period to come, so don't go anywhere. It's Hockey Night in Fitchburg right here on FATV. Hockey Night in Fitchburg here on FATV. John Grugerty joined by Daniel Bolak. Fitchburg State leads Worcester State 1-0 as we approach the second period of action. But before we do, we have some highlights for you from the first period here at the Wallace Civic Center. early in the game. This was the only penalty that was called. That was against Kyle Hayter of Worcester State. He went to the box for 2 minutes for hooking. Worcester State was able to kill off that penalty. You see right there, that was the play I mentioned earlier. Ryan Murphy took a big tumble, thought maybe there should have been a trip there. No penalty was called. The one goal of the period, was scored by Kevin Perry right there off a deflection of a shot by Anton Medelev. Perry's 4th goal of the season. It's also Medelev's first collegiate point. Other side of the ice, Worcester State did have a couple of opportunities. You see there right at the end, Fitchburg State did a good job deflecting that puck away from Brian McGrath. Toward the end of the first period, Fitchburg State had to fight off a couple of opportunities from the Lancers. Really, Dan, Fitchburg did a good job on the defensive side of the ice toward the end of that first period.
Yeah, just trying to block all the passing lanes there, and there's Nevin Tardif coming out to try to make a save there. Tardif finishes the first period with 9 saves, 7 saves for Brian McGrath on the other hand. As the two teams switch sides for the second period.
Fitchburg State again wearing their red and white jerseys. Proceeds from this game benefiting the ALS Association Massachusetts chapter, as well as the Glenn Roberts Memorial Scholarship. This is the Glenn Roberts Memorial Hockey game here at the Wallace Civic Center.
Yep. It's the first of 2 games that we'll be having today here at the Wallace Civic Center. The Fitchburg Monty Tech Red Raiders and the North Middlesex Patriots will do hockey battle after this game is over, and we'll have that game for you right here on FATV as well.
So don't go anywhere. It is a long night planned, hockey night in Fitchburg, right here on FATV.
Yep. Looks like they are having some issues with the net to the left at the locker room end.
Nevin Tardif not entirely happy with the cage, but he will have to make do. We're just about ready for puck drop here. Fitchburg will go with their second line. That's Wyatt Wilmshurst, Gene Bouthiet, and Chris Vicario. Third line, once again, for Worcester State, Hayter, Patullo, and James. Faceoff comes to the near side left. Sent in deep to the Lancer end. Vicario will gather there. Picked up by Wilmshurst. Shot blocked away by Tardif. Sent back in by Joff Lamore. Fitchburg had to clear the zone. That puck goes high and over the barrier into the netting. Looked for a second like we were calling baseball. It was a high drive deep to right field.
But it's not a home run, and nobody's getting any points for that one.
Sadly, no. We're going to call baseball together at some point, right, Dan?
Someday.
Someday. Maybe not here on FATV, although hopefully here on FATV. If you would like to underwrite FATV's coverage of baseball, etc., etc. Faceoff comes just outside the Lancer zone. Puck sent back in. Steered along the far boards by Max Roth. Now Roth will have to come to give chase again. Battling and sent into the near side stands. Almost came up near us, Dan.
It wasn't too far off.
So you're the goaltender, right? So if it comes up here, you'll protect us?
I'll try to.
Okay. Should I give you this clipboard to act as like a blocker?
I've got this clipboard that acts as a blocker.
Okay, that's one, but what about your other hand?
Well, my right hand was my catching hand.
Fair point. Fair point. You know, your right hand is the one that's covering my face, so got to be very careful with that one. Face-off coming to the right of Nevin Tardif. Controlled by Fitchburg. Wolford tried to take a shot. It was deflected. Now in front of the goaltender. Hunter Fortin tried to get the shot in, but it was covered up by Tardif. Less than a minute gone here in the second period. We've already had a couple of stoppages.
Tardif coming in, as we've mentioned a couple of times. He was a mid-season add for the Lancers after they lost Ryan Hoff, who would come up with 4 of the team's 5 victories in the first semester of play.
Faceoff comes right to the middle. Shot save made by Tardif. Pat Sullivan had a point-blank chance, couldn't capitalize on it. Now sent into the Falcon end. Chased there by Jordan Holmes. Gathered by Worcester State. Nick Panucci with the puck, sends it around back behind the Falcon net. Lancers unable to maintain the zone. They'll have to take it all the way back, set it up, and do it again. Tried to hit Panucci center ice, picked off there. Dumped back in, Falcons will change. Worcester State there on the counterattack. 2-on-3 opportunity for them. Shot sticked away by McGrath. Sent along back behind the net. Gathered there for Worcester State. Nicholas Terry sends it back. Terry pressed against the boards, leaves it for Evan Schreiber. Shot sticked away again by McGrath. Schreiber leaves it off. Tried to hit Brendan Ronan, broken up on the defensive end by Egan Wolford. Fitchburg State manages to clear the zone. Break there for the Falcons. Terry with the puck. And he'll just dump it in and change.
Worcester has been controlling the play at the beginning of this second period. As Fitchburg just had trouble turning anything towards goal or even turning anything towards the Lancer end.
Puck in the Lancer end now, kept in there. Shot deflected, never got to the net. I believe that was Dieter Stang. Excuse me, Henry Bruckner made the stop. Now on the Falcon end, Worcester State trailing in this one by a goal. Trying to capitalize. Now Fitchburg State with the opportunity, 4-on-2 if they hurry. Well defended there, however. Max Roth did a great job one-on-one buying time, giving the rest of the Lancers time to catch up. Thought we had a whistle. Everybody slowed down for a second, but the refs say play on. So on they play.
Did sound like there was a bit of a shriek from somewhere.
Shot save made by Tardif. Unable to keep it in his glove, though. That was by Kevin Perry, looking for his second goal of the night. Batted down, but just outside the zone. Fitchburg State has to clear the line, regain it. Worcester clears. That puck goes off the stick of Joff Lamore, so no icing. Lamore will have to go back behind his net and play it. Just flipped out there and gathered by Steven Titoni. Drevich takes it in for the Lancers. On the right side, shot steered away. Going to come back out to Titoni. He loses the handle and it ultimately clears the line. Worcester State will have to reset. Lancers will get a fresh set of legs on the ice. Regain the zone, shot deflected away. Never troubled McGrath. Both teams fighting for it here on the near side boards. Finally sent back by Joff Lamore behind the net. Good aggressive forechecking there by Worcester State, not giving Fitchburg any opportunity to clear the zone. They finally dump it in. No icing is the call. Jake Corellis will go back to grab it for Worcester. Now right in front of us here, in front of the Worcester bench, sent into the Fitchburg end. And just barely kept in at the blue line. Good play by Colin Witt. Now on the right side, this is Drevich. That puck just kind of trickles in front of McGrath. Witt tried to come up and play it, but it was intercepted by Vicario. Now on the other end, Fitchburg trying to make something happen quick. Once again, Tardif is out of position on his backside. Nothing dangerous comes of it, though. Falcons wanted icing, and they get it. 14:46 to play here. Fitchburg State still leading 1-0.
It does feel like both teams are having a lot of trouble settling the puck down, like the ice has been playing quite choppy. And when players want to try to settle it on their stick to try to get a one-timer or anything for that matter, they're just not able to fire it cleanly off their sticks. And you saw it on that last play there. Gene Bouthiet had the puck skip over when he had Tardif out of position.
And I know they resurface the ice between periods. They send out the ice shaving machine, but there's only so much you can do after a full day of hockey has been played here on the surface. This is not the first game that was played here. When we were setting up, there was another game being played. This shot by Fitchburg is corralled by Tardif.
If that game earlier was Leominster and Wachusett, which Wachusett won 4-2, I do believe. A battle between a resurgent Leominster squad who, spoiler alert, we'll be seeing next week.
That will be Leominster versus Fitchburg with Leominster as the home team. An interesting situation there.
Yep. Leominster is one of 4 high school hockey teams that call this rink home. And that's just on the boys' side.
Shot by Drevich is deflected, never got to Tardif. Another Falcon takes a tumble in front of the net, no whistle. Worcester State clears. Gain the zone and then immediately lose the puck. Sent back behind the Fitchburg net. Hard shot there by Matthew Manning. Manning, the captain for this Lancer team. Now the puck comes along the near side boards, gathered at the blue line by Manning. He is aggressively dispossessed, let's say.
It's been a rough and tumble game, but the referees have been content to let the 2 sides play. We've only had the 1 penalty.
That was a hooking call earlier in this game. Served in the first period, killed off by Worcester State. Lancers with the puck now. They'll send it back into the Fitchburg zone. Trying to make something happen. Left side defenseman takes a shot, and it's steered wide by McGrath. It was Peter Staife taking the shot for Worcester State. Now that's Mitch Wally. Loses it, and it's sent all the way back, but this will be icing. And once again, the puck will come all the way down to the Worcester State end. Fitchburg will get a change. Worcester State, of course, will not.
No, for Nevin Tardif, the freshman goalkeeper, as we've mentioned, this may be the first time he's played at the Wallace Civic Center as a member of the Worcester State Lancers. It's not the first time he's played here as a member of a side. He previously played for the Grand Dunstable Crusaders. I've actually called a game that he's played in.
But did he win?
I believe his side did.
Well, there you go.
That was like 4 years ago, and I'm not 100% certain on the result, but I do believe. But Grand Dunstable, usually with a solid squad, not this year, but usually with a solid squad. And Tardif with the high school hockey route before going into juniors.
Fitchburg unable to keep the offensive zone. Puck comes all the way back down behind McGrath. Sent high along the boards, almost out of play. And we'll get a whistle.
Over and back they'll rule. The linesman says it came out of the zone first.
So we'll stop play, bring it just outside the zone. And then these wayward Suns will carry on. .5 minutes to play here, second period. Worcester State trailing Fitchburg by a score of 1-0. Puck sent behind the Falcon net. I'm sorry, Dan,
That's
go
all
ahead.
right. I was going to say, when these 2 teams met back in December, it was a 1-0 win for Fitchburg. So we can't just sit here and think, oh, this will be the only, like, there'll be more goals to come. It could be the only one we've already seen.
That's goal by Kevin Perry in the first period is the difference. Worcester State now 3-on-2 if they hurry. Shot deflected wide. Nothing McGrath needed to do about that one. Sent in back behind McGrath.
Josh Miller tried to settle that one down and nearly redirected it on his own goal. Again, that's another example of how challenging the ice surface has been today, and it's not going to get any better.
It's an icing here called against Fitchburg. They're not terribly happy with it. Brian Glover sent the puck up to Kevin Perry at just about center ice. Perry just got a stick on it and sent it in, but the officials say it crossed 2 lines, and that got the icing call. Faceoff comes to the right side of McGrath, controlled by Worcester State. Shot save made by McGrath. It was Max Roth taking the shot. Now loose puck behind the Falcon net. 4 men in there battling for it. Someone's going to get it. Wraparound opportunity. McGrath is right there. Now from the point, shot, save made with the left glove. Another shot and another save. Brian McGrath having to do his hardest work of the night, but he proves able to meet the test. Stops all 3 shots, and will get a whistle kill the play.
A couple good chances for Worcester State on those, but McGrath able to keep square to the puck and make the stops, the junior from Worcester. How about that?
McGrath, the only goaltender on Fitchburg's squad who has recorded a win. The backup, Chris Matone, 0-4 in his career. The third stringer, Luke Esslinger, has never played.
Esslinger was a late add to the Falcon roster. He came in during the semester break as well.
Falcons try to keep it in. Worcester State, however, gains control, and now they're on the attack. Shot deflected and batted out of midair. Just barely kept in there at the blue line by Staife. Sent in behind the Falcon net. Fitchburg finally able to clear 2-on-1 if they hurry. Nope, Worcester State managed to get the change. Shot save made by Tardif, tries to cover up, can't do it. Nearly tripped a Falcon in his attempts. Fitchburg State, however, not able to keep the puck in the offensive zone. They send it all the way down and will get another icing call. Shots on goal, 17-13 in favor of Fitchburg State.
Be 7-6 for the period from our big green board here in the Civic Center.
It's been a few years now, Dan, but I'm still impressed by the renovations that were done at the Civic Center. I remember what this place used to be like, and it is a much friendlier arena now than it was, let's say, 8 years ago.
I still insist it's one of the best barns in all of Massachusetts. There's a reason why they get to hold the Central Mass High School Championships every year.
Get a whistle here.
Played with the high stick, and they'll rule the draw back in the Falcon zone. 9 seconds short of halfway in this contest.
Fitchburg, actually both teams will take the opportunity to make a change. Worcester State a little slow getting off the ice. They'll take their time, but there they go. And we're back underway. Left side defenseman faked the slap shot, just wrists it in behind the net. Now played along the near side board, sent to the far side, nobody there. Fitchburg State regains control. They'll take it back behind the net, try to clear, and they do so successfully. Bounces off a stick, up and into the bench. Just a little pop-up, played with one hand. While we have a second, Dan, why don't we thank a few of our underwriters this year. We want to thank once again the Sentinel and Enterprise, Fitchburg State University, and Mart, among the many businesses who underwrite this and every remote broadcast here on FATV. Puck sent behind the Lancer net. Worcester State will take it in from the near side. One-on-one went Kevin Drevich, unable to win the battle. Now Fitchburg State with a quick opportunity. So Ryan Murphy loses control of the puck. Comes loose in the middle, and finally Tardif is able to grab it. Once again, we'll stop the clock. The second period hasn't had as much of a flow to it as the first did, Dan. There's been a lot of quick little spurts of intensity, and then a whistle, an icing, an offside, something to stop the play. There hasn't been that 2 or 3 minutes of back and forth end-to-end hockey.
Yeah, the teams haven't been able to keep the rhythm going, and as we mentioned, the ice surface has been playing to the detriment of both sides in this contest.
Lancers with it. Unable to handle the pass, however. Sent behind the Fitchburg net. Kept in at the blue line, and Steven Titoni did that. Now some aggressive, gentlemanly conversation taking place. Both sides insistent that they should have the puck. Comes loose in center, shot save made by McGrath. Shot from the far point is blocked. Shot from the right side is deflected. Couple hard shots there, never got through. Worcester State unable to keep it in and went under the stick of Peter Staife. Goes all the way back to Nevin Tardif. Lancers took the opportunity to change. They'll dump it into the Fitchburg end. Fitchburg will send it all the way down. And we'll get, wait for it, icing.
Falcon trying to run that one down, thought that he was in a position to get there first. But he wasn't to the marks first, which is usually what the rule of thumb is that the officials will use. If they think it's going to be close, something like a tie, then it favors the defense. So they'll call the icing, much to the chagrin of Dean Zerbe.
Slap shot from the right side goes wide. Goes off the stick of Jake Corellis. Now back to Corellis. Tries the shot again, doesn't get through. Another shot is deflected, a third shot is deflected. Great work by Fitchburg on the defensive side. However, good offensive play there by Colin Witt, keeping that puck in the zone, denying Fitchburg the opportunity to change.
Fitchburg's doing well to clog the shooting lanes there and not give the Lancers clean opportunities right on McGrath.
That puck just barely did cross the blue line. Lancers have to clear and get back. Puck winds up deep in their end. That one's flipped high and out of play. They'll call for the faceoff just to the left of Nevin Tardif. Dan, why don't we thank a few more of those businesses who we owe so many great things.
Yes, we'd like to thank Hub International, Minuteman Press, Unitil, and Resource Management for helping make all of our remote broadcasts possible.
7:23 to play here, second period, just about halfway through, a little more than halfway through this game. Faceoff is won by the Falcons. Shot goes high, however. Winds up out of the zone. Worcester State on the counterattack. Shot, save made by McGrath. Little trouble there on the shot from Evan Schreiber. And we'll get another stoppage in play with 7:13 to play. Shots on goal overall tightening up 18-16. And I know that means Worcester State has the advantage here in this period.
Stands at 9-8 in the Lancers' favor.
Faceoff will come to the left of McGrath. And is won by Fitchburg. This is Kevin Perry, the goal scorer. Sends it back behind the net. Kept in the zone by Joff Lamore. Lamore unable to keep that one in, however. Official signals no icing. Puck died well before it got to the back line. Now Perry will take it in from center. Perry's shot is deflected, goes wide. Was off the stick of Henry Bruckner, and it winds up in the net. Will stop the clock, kill the play, get another faceoff.
Up into the netting and out of play with 6:40 to go in the second period. Kevin Perry, he's got the lone goal in this game, coming all the way back in the first period on a feed from Anton Medelev.
Again, that was Medelev's first career collegiate point for the midseason addition to the Falcons. Puck controlled on the near boards, now from the D spot. It's deflected, goes high over the net, still stays in play, however. Shot from the front left faceoff dot is deflected. Another shot is deflected. Both teams doing good work clogging up those shooting lanes, as you said, Dan. Now Worcester State gains the Fitchburg line, tried the centering pass, but it was deflected. Lancer leaves it off for nobody in particular. Kevin Drevich didn't have a teammate there. Puck winds up clearing the blue line, but Worcester will get it back in the zone. Drevich killing time, waiting for his teammates, finally finds someone to dump it off to. This is his brother Tim. Tim loses the handle, sent back out to the defenseman, and unable to keep it in was Jake Corellis. Worcester has to clear the zone again, gives the Falcons a breath.
How many times have we seen defensemen unable to settle the puck down as it's coming to them?
It's not just defensemen. It seems like every pass has been an adventure. It's only going to get worse as the game goes on.
I feel like both sides have got to start tightening up their games, try to make more simple plays. Don't try to do things too crazily.
Tim Drevich with a great one-man effort here, skated around three guys.
He drew a penalty as well. Worcester's going to get their first power play of the game.
It looked like somebody cross-checked Will Ahern. We'll wait for the official call. But they are sending Jordan Holmes to the sin bin. And they're changing their minds. No, it wasn't Jordan Holmes, it was Gene Bouthiet.
They mixed up 12 and 21.
Yeah, I hold up the 2 and the 1. That means 21, not 12. So Bouthiet will serve 2 minutes.
8th penalty of the season for the freshman from Enfield, Connecticut.
And if you want, you can call Marlboro. 5:08 left here in the second period. I would give the rest of my home phone number from when I was a kid, but someone probably lives there now, so.
Falcons do have one of the best kills in the nation, 91%, 5th best compared to Worcester's power play, 16.7%. That's 4th in the MASCAC, but in the lower mid-tier overall in D3.
Lancers with the man advantage, down a goal. 4:40 to play here in the second period. Cross ice pass. Now back shot deflected by McGrath, but he's unable to control it. That shot off the stick of Evan Schreiber. Shot by Roth is deflected, goes wide. That actually hit his teammate Nick Benucci's stick. Skate, rather. Roth unable to keep it in the zone. Fitchburg will get a chance to clear, kill some time. Send it all the way down. They've killed off half of this penalty now.
Worcester nearly caught for too many men there as Tardif was trying to play it along to the near side, but Worcester was all going on with their line changes.
Yeah, don't send the puck right at your bench when you're changing. Bad things can happen. Shot by Roth from a great distance is blocked and then covered up by McGrath. So 3:48 to play here in the second period, and we once again want to thank some of the businesses who help underwrite our remote broadcasts here on FATV. We want to send our thanks to Workers Credit Union, Rollstone Bank and Trust, UMass Memorial Health Alliance Clinton Hospital, and of course North End Subaru. Thank you so much to them. About 30 seconds left in this penalty. Worcester State with one more opportunity to make something of the man advantage. Dumped in behind the net. Brendan Ronan on the attack. Shot by Tim Drevich goes wide. Steered that way by Brian McGrath. 5 seconds left in the penalty here. Fitchburg State has just about killed off this power play. And there they go. Now even strength as we hit the 3-minute mark left here in the second period. Tim Drevich loses the handle, loses his footing. Comes back out to Corellis at the point. Shot goes wide. And Fitchburg will clear. Corellis sends it right back in. No icing. He was on the correct side of the center line. Kept in at the far side, but only momentarily as the Falcons are able to clear. Now Bouthiet. Shot attempt is blocked. Centering pass. That shot is blocked. That one off the stick of Wyatt Wilmshurst. Now sent in on the other side. Very nearly hit the low ceiling here at the Civic Center, but didn't get there. One of the officials had to get out of the way of the puck for a moment there. Skating right through the heart of the Worcester defense was Brian Glover, ultimately dispossessed. Lancers will take it in along the near side board. Centering pass shot, good save there. The right skate of Brian McGrath was all that was able to get to that puck, but it was all that was needed. This puck sent all the way down. No icing. Cleared all the other way by Fitchburg. And this time there will be an icing.
Yeah, I think they ruled no icing on the last one because they felt it was obtainable there by Jeff Lamore as it went right in front of him. But there was nobody that it was obtainable for on the other end. So the draw comes to the left of McGrath with 88 seconds to go in the second.
Shots on goal now even at 19. Worcester State has definitely had the advantage in the pace of play here in the second period, but the all-important goal tally, they have been unable to get on the scoreboard. 19 shots for the Lancers, 19 saves for Brian McGrath. Worcester State sends it right back in. Lamore got a little tied up with the official. Goes to the far side. And we get another stoppage.
Puck was deflected out of play. They'll rule the faceoff outside of the Falcon zone. And one of the fans happily throws the puck back out at there.
Well, you know. What's a souvenir next to the opportunity to save Division III hockey a few bucks? I would imagine that at a large enough scale, a puck does not cost $1.
Probably not. I have no idea how much they go for.
Just under a minute to play here. Worcester State gains the zone. They'll steer it behind McGrath. Sent out to Corellis. Corellis flips it high and just over the boards. Dan, did I ever tell you about the time I was just about there where that puck went out of play? We used to set up a camera position in the stands along the right side, right about where one of our unmanned cameras is now. And this may be part of the reason it was an unmanned camera now. It didn't always used to be. Thankfully, I had the big freaking camera case to my left, and that thing got walloped by a puck that just barely cleared the boards. Darn near took my head off. It was not a fun day. Fitchburg State, however, now with the puck. Shot goes wide. Just about 20 seconds to play here in the second period. Falcons looking to extend their lead. Trickles in front of Nevin Tardif, and he'll just cover it up, take the face off. We got about 15 and a half seconds to play here.
Another one of those interesting notes about Nevin Tardif wearing number 20, a slightly unusual goaltender number, although goalies like Ed Belfour, Evgeny Nabokov wore that number, but you almost never see it at this level.
Goalies tend for the higher numbers, don't they?
Yeah, the 30s at number 1. And you don't get a lot of flexibility with choosing numbers at this level either, as we get a stoppage with 7.6 seconds, because goaltender jerseys are cut differently to accommodate the equipment underneath.
Yeah, I imagine it's a case of you go to the equipment manager and it's like, all right, we've got 20, 31, 35, and 72. And 31 and 35 are taken. So what do you want? Then the freshman goaltender shrugs and goes, give me 20?
They're so nice to bring 72 in for Sergei Bobrovsky.
Well, you know. Could have been 91 for Sergei Fedorov.
Yep, but he wasn't a goaltender.
So? Don't step on my joke. I have so few hockey jokes. And we have so few time left in the second intermission. We have so little time even, as I say a grammatically correct thing. Fitchburg State managed to hang on to their lead. We go to the second intermission with the score still 1-0 in favor of the Falcons. But really, Dan, that second period, the pace of play at least, definitely favored the Lancers in my opinion.
The Lancers were doing a solid job in dictating play. Shots were 13-9 in favor of the Lancers in the second period. They got some good opportunities, but McGrath has looked sharp. He's been following the puck very well. There was one particular play where on a cross-ice one-timer, McGrath had cut to from the right side of the net to the left side of the net, and as he saw the puck coming off the stick, he made sure to extend his body upwards, get his blocker up there, and punch that puck away. He's been doing well to follow the puck, I think, today, and that's definitely been helping the Falcons. He's been looking for a bounce back after conceding 7 goals his last 2 games.
Well, he has conceded none thus far. 20 shots on goal for Worcester, 20 saves for Brian McGrath. We will hit the second intermission here. We'll take the break along with them, but don't go anywhere. The third period is coming up next, right here on FATV. We are back here at the Wallace Civic Center. It is hockey night in Fitchburg here on FATV. I'm John Gugerty, joined, of course, by Daniel Bolak. And Dan, the Falcons continue to hang on to a 1-0 lead as we get ready for the third and final period.
Yeah, that second period, Worcester seemed like they were the better team, but it was still a fairly even played second period. Shots, as we got it, were 13-9 in favor of the Lancers, and they had the lone power play in that second period. But Fitchburg keeps doing well to stick with them. As we mentioned, the first game between these two teams ended in a 1-0 win for Fitchburg. Falcons would be more than content to do that again.
You mentioned, Dan, that Worcester State had the lone power play of the second period. Each team has only had one, although the pace of play and the style of play has been maybe conducive to more, shall we say?
Yeah, the officials tonight have been letting the two sides play. It just feels like they haven't been making that many calls.
And to be perfectly honest, as a fan, given the way that the ice has contributed to the pace of play, I'm happy with that, because if the officials were blowing their whistles for every little thing, we would still be 5 minutes to go in the first period right now.
As it would feel like right now, as the two teams have had a lot of trouble settling passes, settling the puck down, getting good chances on goal. Even the one goal we've had in this contest was a point-blank redirection. But now, go ahead.
Teams, of course, have switched ends once again, so the Falcons are on the left and the Lancers are on the right.
The Falcons in the special white uniforms with red numbering and trim as part of the Glenn Roberts Memorial Hockey game. Glenn's friends on the back, where the name would be.
We'll tell you a little bit more about that at the next stoppage in play.
Lancers in their traditional road dark blue uniforms with gold numbering and trim. Falcons keep it in the zone. Dumped to the corner, intercepted by Max Roth, who slams it off the boards, but it ends up taking a strange hop off the boards and over and out, and we'll get a draw 102 into the third. You
mentioned, Dan, that this is the Glenn Roberts Memorial Hockey game. All proceeds from this game are going to benefit the ALS Association Massachusetts chapter and the Glenn Roberts Memorial Scholarship at Fitchburg High School. So folks, if you're in Fitchburg and somehow just turning us on now, one, you missed that incredible shot that was well steered away by Tardif, and two, get down to the Civic Center, get down to John Fitch Highway. Even if you only see the last 5 or so minutes of this game, your ticket money, your concession money is all going to a very good cause.
And there's another game after between Fitchburg Monty Tech and North Middlesex. Nice hockey, and you'll be able to watch that game for the price of your ticket as well. Buck in the far side boards, and Worcester again pinning it into the boards from Stephen Titone and Matthew Manning. Falcons finally pull it free, and Ryan Murphy behind the net tries to center, looking for Patrick Sullivan, but finds the skates of Titone instead, and another scrum against the boards.
It's kind of like watching an MMA fight where they're both pressed up against the cage and you're just waiting for the ref to say, okay, guys, get out of there.
Waiting for something to happen, as long as it may take. Glover keeps it in the zone. Nice acrobatic play by him. But not able to keep the play going. Will Ahern gains the red line, dumps in. Glove down by Brian McGrath. He's got 21 saves in this contest for the green and gold, or the red and white as they are tonight.
Or the red and white and green and gold, because they do have the shorts on.
They've got all the covers covered today. Murphy, leading goal scorer for the Falcons. Tried to find Joshua Miller. Now turnaround shot by Dean Zerby, the captain. That goes high and wide. Worcester tries to skate it out of the zone. That pass was intercepted. Lancers take it back. Colin Witt gains the red line, dumps in. It'll come off for a change. It's in the right side corner, Nicholas Terry and Evan Schieber there as well. Falcons float it down the ice. It was in between the legs of Henry Bruckner into his defense partner, Jake Corrales. Delayed offsides against the Lancers, and Worcester has to double back yet again. Max Roth, pass up for Ryan James. James gains the blue line, takes the shot glove save by McGrath, and he'll hold for a draw with 16:41 to go in the third.
Looked for a second there, Dan, like McGrath wanted to drop that off for one of his teammates, just let them keep skating with it, but he held it there for too long, and the official eventually blew his whistle.
Seeing the Lancers rushing in at the end, I think he was going to drop it, then he said, I'm just going to hold on to it.
You know, Dan, as I hear the sounds of the boys are back in town, it brings up a question I want to ask. Have you been reading the unnamed temporary sports blog?
Yes, I have.
I am a big fan of the unnamed temporary sports blog.
Indeed, and I hope it lasts longer than the 3 days they have scheduled for it.
It absolutely will not, and that's part of its charm. In an unrelated story, Jim Spanfeller is a herb. I didn't know if you knew that.
I did know that.
Well, I made my partner crack on live TV. My mission is complete.
And the important part is you said it on the first reference. It should be on every reference, to be honest.
It should.
But enough digressions. 16:24 to go in the third. 1-0. Fitchburg stayed in front. Kevin Perry with the lone goal, redirecting an Anton Medalev shot in the first. That's all we've had. But will that be all we get? Sent around the boards to the near side. Peter Staife, a stretch pass, settled down by Nick Panucci. Now Worcester with a shot off the stick of Dieter Stang, but it goes high and wide to the right.
Dieter Stang was set up for that one by Joseph Miller. He was trying to deflect the centering pass down. He wound up batting it right to Stang's stick.
Not what they were hoping for, but Worcester trying to take advantage. Couldn't do so. It's all the way back into the Lancer end. Joffrey Moore with a shot. Goes off the legs of Nick Panucci and out of play. 15:45 to go in the third. We've lost so many pucks over the boards in this game today.
It's been an inordinate number, hasn't it?
It's been a very large number. I remember the game a fortnight ago against Salem State, and I think we lost so many pucks in the first period, you need your toes to count.
The ceilings are relatively low, but the boards aren't low. There's got to be a regulation height for that.
The boards are a fine height, but these pucks just keep climbing them. No icing as Corrales is able to get to the puck before it gets to the end line. It'll be dumped down off the stick of Tim Drevich and offsides ruled. Lancers just couldn't get quite on the same page here.
This is very entertaining. We're hearing 4 or 5 seconds of the boys are back in town over and over and over again. By the end of the period, they might get through the whole song.
Draw comes outside the Falcons zone, won by Fitchburg. Cross ice pass to the far side, sticked along by Wilmshurst. And into the zone where Manning gets there first for the Lancers. Corrales throws it over the boards again.
Are they back? Oh, they changed.
Different song this time.
Curses. Also a good song.
Yep.
Would you care to jump around?
That means the Penguins must have just scored. Although speaking as a Pittsburgh Penguins fan, I preferred Party Hard.
Well, you know, we can only have so much Andrew WK in our lives.
Shot goes wide off the draw, and Worcester clears it down. As Kyle Hayter tries to get to that puck, McGrath will poke it away into the corner. Hayter will try to come around to the near side, or Roth takes a shot, but that's caught up in the skates of Egan Wolford, or another one of the Falcons, as Hunter Forden. My goodness, how could I make 3 and 26 go that far off? Anyway, dumped back in by the Falcons. The late offsides means they could not pursue. Now Max Roth from the red line dumps in. There's Egan Wolford. He puts it off the glass, stays in play. He tried to find Sullivan. Panucci skates around back into his own end. Roth back for Panucci. Having trouble finding it. Lost it in his skates, lost the puck. Wyatt Wilmshurst, bad angle shot is turned behind Devin Tardif's net. Ryan Murphy whiffs on the keep in, and now here's a dangerous chance for Kevin Drevich. Shot save by McGrath.
Moment of panic there as McGrath initially didn't know where the shot was rebounding. He finally found it and was able to steer it away. Didn't clear the zone, but at least it's not right in front of the goalie.
And another scrum on the far side boards. Worcester able to poke it away. Kevin Drevich, the right corner for Panucci. Shot deflected, out of play. 13:40 to go in the third.
Gives us a chance once again to thank some of the underwriters who help make this and all of our remote broadcasts possible. FATV's remote productions are underwritten by the UMass Memorial Health Alliance Clinton Hospital, Resource Management, Minuteman Press, and Mart.
Draw comes to the left of McGrath. The Lancers have had all the shots in this period. It's brought up Wilmshurst. Draws a penalty as he got hooked there.
Jake Corellis is not happy with the call. They're going to get him for hooking. He believes that his stick just got caught up in the jersey of the Fitchburg offensive player.
I think the problem is, if you don't want to get called for a penalty, don't put your stick in a place where it could turn into a penalty.
This is true.
And Jake Corrales will go off for the 7th time this year. The business administration junior from Melrose will sit for 2 minutes or less. Falcons get their second power play of the contest. They are 0 for 1. Josh Miller goes for Kevin Perry, top of the right circle. Shot goes off a Lancer leg.
It's the second time tonight that Worcester State has been caught hooking, which indicates that they may need to find a new corner.
Miller can't leave it in the zone. Now he's got to get on his horses. Tim Drevich gets the puck first. Drevich trying to kill some time for the Lancers. Falcons able to get it away from him. And Chris Vicario skates it up ice. Vicario on the right side to the corner. Around to the left wing corner. Now to the left point. Josh Miller takes a shot through traffic, redirected wide. Vicario behind the net. Along for Ryan Murphy. Now Perry in the slot. Ciolin turned it just wide to the left. Josh Miller on the left side now for Ciolin, now to the point. Murphy having a lot of trouble settling it. Just barely able to keep it alive. 50 on the power. Puck gets away from the Falcons, and here's Kevin Drevich by himself with the Falcons doubling back. And that one's set up and out of play. Stops the clock with 12:13 to go in the third and 43 on the power.
We'll thank a few more of our underwriters. FATV's remote productions are also underwritten in part by Rollstone Bank and Trust, North End Subaru, Hub International, Fitchburg State University, the Sentinel and Enterprise, and Minuteman Press.
With the shot volume Nevin Tardif has faced in this third period, he could be reading a health sciences textbook right now. He has yet to face a shot on target in this third period as the puck once again goes out of play.
I'm out of underwriters. I credited all of them. Well, fine, we'll thank our excellent crew then. We do want to thank our crew, the staff and volunteers of FATV, helping produce this game. Our director today is Dave Oster. Jared Roberts doing an excellent job working the replay machine, as well as helping train our new camera operators, who include Owen King making his FATV debut. Welcome, Owen. We also want to thank Matt Murdocca showing up again. And of course, Travis Falk doing Travis Falk things. You name it, Travis Falk has his fingers in it. He's credited as graphics and audio, and he's doing those too.
Does darn near everything for us. If you've got a question, he's got an answer. No icing there. The dump in is clean as it goes into the right wing corner for Wyatt Wilmshurst. And again, Worcester. Another board battle developing.
Falcons have killed off the power play now, back to even strength.
And a shot through traffic. Tardif doesn't know where it is. This is dumped down the ice by the Lancers. Wolford's right in front of it, so that'll kill the icing. And fresh legs come on the ice for the blue and gold. Cross ice pass to the near side for Hunter Forden. Peter Stafe on him, rips him into the boards. And trying to poke it free there is Peter Stang. Haven't seen his brother Gunter out there today, although he's listed as the 19th skater. On the near side, pulled down by Dieter Stang. Now Paducci at the zone, drops for Stang. Now for Kevin Drevich. A lot of pace on that shot, but it goes offline to the left. Falcons able to get it out of the zone. Aggressive stick work between Trent Shanley and Kevin Drevich. And a poke at the end for good measure. As it comes by, back for Dieter Stang. Directed off the puck by Boomer Miller. And the Falcons will spit it down the ice. Tardif unable to slow it down. Ends up being a long self-pass around the boards as Shanley finds himself there. And Savoy dumps in. or Jake Corellis. Nice stretch pass picked up there by Tim Drevich. Turn towards Manning, pinballs around, can't get a clean shot off. Corellis again, but this one again wide to the right. And the Falcons will pick it up.
Fitchburg State got away with a high stick there, I think. Kevin Perry knocked the puck down with a high stick, but it went uncalled.
So we play on. Matthew Manning, leading goal scorer for this Lancer squad with 7. Couldn't handle it cleanly. Wilmshurst sends it into the zone, and that one hits the netting, goes out of play, and knocked down one of the things that holds the boards in, so they're going to have to fix that.
Dan, I want to apologize. I was remiss. I forgot to mention Sam Pappas, who is also running a camera for us today. Thank you very much to Sam for all the good work that you do, as well as the entire crew here at FATV. I always say how proud I am to work with FATV, and that extends to every member on the crew here today. Thank you again for all your hard work.
And move the face-off to the other side.
Tardif appears to be having a bit of trouble with his skate. Finally getting himself pulled back together.
Tardif, one of 4 goalkeepers on this Lancer squad, and one of 3 freshmen. Josh Reinstein, the senior from Woodland Hills, California, is the lone senior, the lone non-freshman on this roster of goaltenders for Worcester State. On the near side, Lancers try to get it out of the zone. They will do just that, and Nick Patullo brings it up ice with pace. Patullo tries to fake out McGrath, just can't get a clean shot off, and we have a penalty. An elbow indicated against, I believe, the Falcons.
Right before that shot, Dan, Anton Medalev was trying to get back, and he knew he was beat, but he laid down, spread himself out on the ice, and denied the shot taker a significant portion of the net. Played a part in that puck being deflected wide, but now Fitchburg State will play shorthanded.
Gene Bouthiet in the box for the 2nd time today. Falcons win the draw and immediately send it all the way down to Nevin Tardif. Max Roth will skate it up for the Lancers right up the middle of the ice into the zone. Stops off there, takes a shot, and stopped by McGrath. Elbowing the call against Gene Bouthiet.
Matthew Manning came about as close as you can to being called for offside there. I think he might have had half of a skate still over the blue line when Roth gained the line.
Barely staying on as the Falcons clear it again. And they're going to have to go back and retrieve. And Roth will pick it up behind his team's cage with 8:45 to go in the 3rd. 30 seconds already killed on this power play for Worcester. Their 2nd of the night. This time they can't stay onside, and Roth has to come back. They've got to keep doubling back and wait for Brendan Ronan to get out of the zone, as it's turned towards goal by Matthew Manning, but it goes wide to the right. So many shots that the Lancers have not been able to put on target. Honestly, for these two sides, the shots being 23-20 at this point in favor of Worcester, that's actually pretty low for both teams.
Both teams have had multiple chances where their shot beat everybody, but unfortunately everybody included the far side post. The puck just continued going along its way.
Falcons average 36 shots a game, the Lancers 31, but the shots 23-20 in favor of Worcester. Kept in by Kevin Drevich on the right side corner.
Once again, Worcester State having trouble just gaining the line. Evan Schreiber had to go into a split just to keep himself onside.
And that time the pass splits the 2 Lancers and exits the zone. 25 on the power play for Worcester as Peter Staife now finally regains the zone. Kevin Drevich around the boards. Into the right wing corner for Evan Schreiber. Now Nick Panucci. Schreiber found a bit of an opening, penalty coming. A slash indicated with 4 seconds to go on the penalty to Fitchburg. And I think this is going to extend the power play for the Lancers.
It will indeed. Joshua Suboyu will join his teammate in the box for a scant 4 seconds. That's not even long enough for a bite. Are you on Bite?
Ooh.
It's like Vine, but actually, no, it's just like Vine. It's exactly like Vine.
Back when it existed. 4 seconds.
Well, it exists now. It's called Bite.
Ah.
With a Y.
Wow. Can you tell I'm totally up to date on this social media stuff?
Well, you know.
I'm entering year 10 of no Twitter. Shot from the point goes nowhere. Another shot, that not good wood on that either. And another chance there from Tim Revich. That's turned aside as well. Buthiet's out of the box. Slashing called against Saboyu. And now power play number 3 can begin for Worcester State. As that pinballs around and just goes wide.
Tim Drevich had a wide open net in front of him, but he whiffed on the shot. Probably the best chance the Lancers have had all night.
Shot stopped by McGrath. Rebound was juicy and dangerous, and Worcester could do nothing with it. And this pass to Rock exits the zone. 1:10 to go on the power play. Worcester regains from Ronan. Goes to the far side and around the boards. Worcester's gotten some fresh legs out there. The Lancers on the near side, Peter Staife. Goes from one side of the blue line to the other, passes off, gets it back. Takes the shot, that ricochets high. Staife with 10 points in the season, third among players in the MASCAC and defensemen in point scoring this season. Well done by the freshman from the Czech Republic. Lancers will gain the zone. Cross-ice pass, and now one-timer saved by McGrath. Staife with a redirect towards goal, and McGrath stops that as well.
Evan Schreiber had a couple golden opportunities, but Brian McGrath was equal to the task. This Fitchburg State team has been shorthanded for 3.5 consecutive minutes now. They have stood up so far, but still 28 seconds and a power play deep in their zone.
Draw will come to the right of McGrath, now up to 26 saves on the night. Well, the MASCAC goalie of the year last year. But pinned against the boards and finally poked free by Kevin Perry and out of the zone. Ross tries to keep it going in front of the Lancer bench, but it's finally spit out and back into the Lancer end. Dieter staying. Will skate this one up. Staying on the left side, goes cross ice. Tardif slams a stick to indicate the end of the power play as McGrath somehow able to get on top of that one. I'm not sure how well he saw it through the screen, but he figured the puck was under him somewhere. He sat down on it.
McGrath made that initial save and then collapsed backwards. It was almost like he had been shot.
But another big save for the junior netminder against his hometown school.
Back to even strength here. Fitchburg State has killed the power play, but danger still lurks.
Kyle Hayter to take the draw for the Lancers will win the draw. Out to Witt. That one knocked up in the air and settled by Patrick Sullivan, now for Murphy. Falcons with just one shot in this third period, and that pass isn't going to help matters. Hayter will take it, dump it in. No icing called.
I was just about to say the Falcons needed a sustained amount of possession of the puck just to give McGrath a chance to breathe, and now it's right back in their own end.
Puck down at center, Corrales moved it along, but right into the stick of Saboyu. Shot from outside the blue line by Saboyu is punched away by Nevin Tardif, just the second shot he's faced all period long. Lancers gain the red line. James could not control it at the blue line. And now he'll come off as Worcester finishes their line change. 4:20 to go in regulation time. Fortin trying to keep that play alive. It's nudged back by Roth to his keeper, and Tardif will cover with 4:17 to go in the third period. The Falcons still in front by a 1-0.
Under Fortin was almost gifted a perfect shot. Wasn't exactly trying to make a breakaway, but it almost fell into his lap. Now, Dan, with just over 4 minutes to play here, you wonder when does Worcester State take their timeout? When do they start considering pulling their goaltender? Obviously, they're not going to do it now, but this goes another 2.5 minutes. You have to start thinking about it.
Draw won by the Falcons, but it splits the two defensemen. And Jordan Holmes from the red line will dump back in, where Tardif will settle. Max Roth with a burst of speed up the far side boards, but rubbed out of the play in front of the Falcon bench. As Manning tried to find Tim Drevich, but out of his reach, and it comes back into the defensive zone where Steve Toney will go with Roth. But now Wilmshurst takes it at the center circle, dumped back in by the Lancers. Jordan Holmes, cross ice for Egan Wolford. Seolin sticks it down at the red line, trying to make the play on. Backhand shot, save by Tardif.
Seolin may not have seen him, but he had a teammate there. Dean Zerbe was crashing in from the right side, maybe getting in position to play a rebound, but if Seolin had been able to pass that puck back to him, Zerbe would have had an easy goal right in front of him.
Draw will come to the right of Devin Tardif, a former Groton Dunstable Crusader with 22 saves, now 23, as he makes the save right off the faceoff. Equal to the challenge, always a scary play. As on the right side, James intercepts, wraps around to the left side, tries to drop off for a one-timer, didn't get a lot of oomph on that pass. The Falcons bring it up from Perry as the shot deflected off the stick of Corellis and into the netting and out of play with 3:08 to go.
Teams getting a little more intimate with each other, let's say. Just, hanging around, banging bodies a little bit after the whistle. First time there, we saw one of the officials step in and just gently guide them apart from one another.
These two Worcester County teams, the yearly all-sports rivalry, the Sterling Cup. And Worcester still without a win against a Division III foe in over 2 months. Coming off a demoralizing tie 2 days ago. He's keeping it close late. Behind the Falcon net. Everyone battling for it. Falcons finally poke it free on the far side. Panucci pushed into the boards. Puck pops out of the zone and back into the neutral zone where Roth knocks it in. McGrath settles it for Goff Lamore.
Worcester State, you mentioned, had that tie a couple of days ago. They were leading that game late and then conceded a very late goal. They find themselves in almost the inverse position now. They are the ones trailing late, trying to spoil Fitchburg's chance at a win. See if they can do it.
2:25 remains in this contest. The draw comes to the right of Nevin Tardif, who's probably had his best game today as a Worcester State Lancer. Came in today with the goals against of 378. He's gotten the bounce back game he's won. He's got the trust of his coaching staff coming in as a freshman in mid-season. As the puck settled down at the red line by Tim Drevich. The pinballs around. Sticked along by Wolford. Turned around, now a chance. Seolin shot, save by Tardif. Holmes from the point. That one cut down in front. May not have gotten all the way to Tardif there. Now Matthew Manning storms up the left side. Lost the handle. Corellis dumps in. 1:35 to go. Someone threw a hat on the ice.
There was something there. Thought it looked like a player's glove.
It was a glove, actually. The glove came off. It flew into the crowd, then flew back out on the ice. That was all very strange.
I think it fell from the bench onto the ice, and then the referee picked it up and just chucked it to get it off the ice. It wound up going into the stands.
A lot of weird things happening there. Tardif is off, extra attacker on, shot from the point, stopped by McGrath with 1:06 remaining in the contest. Down to the wire we go, 66 seconds left. Tardif had to scramble over the boards.
I think Worcester State has taken their timeout.
They may very well, especially since they are very slow on this line change. They only have 4 skaters out there. You have to think they got to take their time out here.
There's the signal. Referee's made the signal. Timeout for Worcester State. I think the referee is the only guy on the ice who knows it, but
he signaled there was a timeout. Now he's wondering, did you guys want the timeout? Because I'm pretty sure you guys wanted the timeout, and nobody wanted the timeout.
there it is.
Yep. And our referee, it's like, get back to your benches.
Yeah, we're not going to stand here waiting for a face-off and also take a timeout. We take another look at this, some of the highlights of this period. There was that save by McGrath. This was one of the more impressive saves by Tardif. Another one there, that was just a moment ago.
And another shot from the point that McGrath was able to glove and stop. Now 66 seconds left in this contest. 1-0 it has been for a very, very long time.
Scoring came less than halfway through the first period, didn't it?
6 minutes and 51 seconds it would in the books. Kevin Perry's 4th of the year, redirecting a shot from Anton Medalev. And just to show how balanced these two teams have been over the years, since Shane Toporowski took over as head coach back in 2014, these two teams have met 18 times. Fitchburg's won 8, Worcester's won 8, and they've tied twice.
Well, there you go. Unless they tie, that's going to be broken.
Can the Lancers get a last-second goal? They've got 6 skaters on the ice. Nevin Tardif, with 25 saves, sits on the bench and can only watch his side.
And you mentioned, Dan, that you've been very impressed with Tardif. This is the kind of game, even if Worcester State doesn't come back and get the tie or come back to win this one, this could be the kind of game that cements Tardif in that starting role for the Lancers going forward. You mentioned they're a very young team, very young goaltending squad. The only goalie who isn't a freshman is a senior. So an impressive performance like this for Tardif, we may see him between the pipes much more often in the years to come.
Draw control by the Lancers, and a backhand shot off the stick of Panucci is gloved by McGrath.
Just 4 seconds off the clock there. Get another face-off to the left of McGrath.
Falcons will change one skater off and bring Boomer Miller on. 6-on-5 again. The net is empty on the other end of the ice. Draw one by the Lancers. Turn around and shot on from the slot, and McGrath turns it away. They battle forward on the near side boards, and the puck being pinned against the boards now favors Fitchburg. As it pops out to the point, Roth backhands it into the right wing corner and around behind for Panucci, and around the boards and down the ice. And the clock will stop with 36.4 on the clock. You know, there's something about Brian McGrath today that I haven't actually mentioned.
What's that?
Today is his birthday.
Well, how about that?
Today is his 25th birthday. And what a wonderful gift that would be. What type of gift? I'm too late in the game to say the words now. Draw comes to his right.
Are you being superstitious? He has a shutout going. Worcester State has not scored. Every shot they've taken has been stopped.
Indeed they have. I'm letting you say it this time.
Shutout.
25 seconds left. Brought up the right side. Lost by Hayter. Dumped down the ice. From that spot, should have gone for the empty nets.
0 goals.
19 seconds left.
I have tried to maintain my broadcaster's integrity, but for the next 19 seconds, I'm just going to say variations of the word shut out. You superstitious so-and-so, you.
I'm never the superstitious type. But I decided to play along with that today. Fitchburg calls their timeout with 19 seconds left. This game will conclude the second cycle of conference play for both teams, and they'll start the third and final cycle with their next contest. The Falcons will be taking on Plymouth State on Thursday the 6th, the 7 o'clock start here from the Civic Center. whereas Worcester will start their third cycle at Amelia Park in Westfield. They'll take on the Owls for a 7:35 start on the 6th.
Would you like to hear an interesting statistic, Dan?
Sure.
Brian McGrath has 2 shutouts this season.
Indeed he does.
He's 19 seconds away from recording his 3rd.
You know what's also an interesting statistic?
What's that?
Fitchburg beat Salem 3-1, and then when they were on FATV 2 weeks ago, the Falcons beat them 3-1. Fitchburg beat Worcester 1-0 earlier this season. They're on FATV again, and what's the score?
It is, in fact, 1-0. How about that? It's almost as though the events of the universe are random and we as observers have no effect on them. It's not Schrodinger's hockey game, Dan. We're not down there playing.
Believe it or not, but sometimes it's like our job as sports analysts.
He has a no-hitter going, too. Did you know that? Actually, it's hockey. There have been a lot of hits.
There are shot from the right point, cut down in front into the right wing corner. 10 seconds left. Manning can't find the handle. The pass out of the reach of Max Rock. All the way down it goes, and on his 25th birthday, Brian McGrath has a shutout.
Oh, now you say. A fantastic effort by the whole Falcons team, but yes, indeed, especially Brian McGrath. Faced 29 shots, turned them all away.
Good job, guys.
He earned a shutout, gives himself a heck of a birthday present, and gives the Falcons the 1-0 win.
His 3rd shutout of the season, his 6th career shutout. What a wonderful gift for this Falcons squad. The goal by Kevin Perry, 6.5 minutes and change into this contest, was the only goal of the game. For the 2nd time this season, the Falcons have beaten the Worcester State Lancers by 1-0. The shots on the big green board are unofficial. The official stats had Fitchburg conceding far more shots in the 3rd period than Jim Point gave him credit for. 37 is what it ends up going in the books as.
Ooh, my.
Surprisingly, the Falcons side was correct, 26.
Okay.
But nonetheless, 25 saves for Nevin Tardif, but his first win as a Lancer will continue to elude him. And for Brian McGrath, a 37-save shutout as it goes down in the books, as the Falcons get their 10th win of the season, break their 2-game losing streak, and get themselves back on track in the MASCAC as they further solidify 3rd place.
Fitchburg with the win, as you said, they advance to 10-7-2 on the year. Worcester State falls to 5-12-2. Now, folks, if you just tuned in for Fitchburg State and that's all you care about, well, have yourself a lovely evening and be safe on your trips home and throughout your weekend, because I hear there's a football game or something tomorrow. Who cares? But if you're just at home watching some FATV, or you happen to know anyone who would be interested in seeing the North Middlesex Patriots take on the Bulldogs of Monty-Tech Fitchburg, then stick around. The game was scheduled to start at 6, and it is presently 6:15, so I would imagine shortly there will be more hockey. But for Dan Bolak and the entire crew of FATV, I'm John Gugerty, thanking you so much for being with us here on Hockey Night in Fitchburg on FATV.